Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurrect Autos HQ. So today guys, it's part 2 on the Fiesta timing belt kit, water pump and all that sort of side of it. So yeah, we're going to get into that, part 2 of that. But just before we do, just want to say a big thanks to all the support, all the comments I was getting on the new ramp, the new scissor lift. Yeah, what an incredible bit of kit, guys. It's going to really help my back, my knees going forward. It's really going to help out. And it looks pretty cool. You can see that the R-bath is on there, just sitting there. I was just doing some last few tweaks and last bits and pieces really before yeah, I'll take her out and sort of drive it around properly. Just checks and stuff. I like to just make sure it's all good. So yeah, just a massive thanks, guys, for all the comments on that lift, because yeah, I feel really lucky, really lucky to be able to get this set up in my workshop, in my lockup, and it was always a step that I had to get some sort of lift and that just to help me do the cars. But to get it at that price as well was yeah, I just feel incredibly lucky that I can have it for that sort of. I found it for that price. Was just yeah, definitely luck's on my side, guys, when it comes to these kind of bits and pieces. I do feel really lucky. So anyway, let's move on. Let's continue this part 2. Let's get all the belt stuff sorted out, the water pump. I've got a new thermostat gasket to go around to seal it all up. And yeah, we'll just crack on with this. So let's do this. Right, okay guys, just quickly, I'm going to be coming in and out of the video today. Just going to show you step by step what I'm doing, how I'm putting it back together, what I'm using, and all that good stuff. So I'll try and explain as much as I can so people can then follow if they want my videos to do their own cars and stuff, because I've been getting a lot of messages, people asking me for advice, which is fine. I really don't mind that, and I always try and reply to every single one of you if you've got questions about anything I'm doing or anything on your own cars. I always try and help out if I can, yeah guys. So this hopefully will help a lot of people out, showing step by step how to refit all the parts that's needed to refitted. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. Let's do this. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sort this thermostat housing out. We've got a new gasket to go around, which is here. Got it from Euros yesterday. Just comes like that. So we're going to put this new gasket on, and then basically we're going to set it up into place with the bolts, the old ones, which are here, and they're just sort of 8mm bolts, 4 of them, and they just go around the housing themselves. So yeah, I'm going to put the gasket in and then put the bolts on, do them up, and then I'll come back to you when that's done, guys. Right, okay guys, as you can see, the thermostat and the housing is back in place and all tightened up, and that should be set, that should be done. There probably is a torque setting for these bolts, but I've done so many of these now that I can feel the actual torque of it, and you can feel that you just stop. There's always that possibility, there's always that chance that it could leak once the system's filled up, once the water's hot. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've had it before where I've done it and then it's got a little drip on it, a little leak, so you have to go back and tighten up bolts very slightly, just a little couple of nicks tighter, and it stops. So yeah, but I'm happy with that. That's where it should be. Just those 8mm bolts, all 4, all round, all done. So now we're going to move on to the water pump, which is here, and we're going to fit a new water pump there, which is down here, and it comes with obviously the water pump, the new bolts, always using the new bolts it comes with, and it comes with this gasket that sits on here. You've got like locating pins here. There's one there and there's one there, and you just sort of flip them over the pins, and it holds the gasket in place while you put it on the block. Also what I like to do is, once this gasket is in place, And it's hard to do for one hand, I'll be honest with you. It is hard. Let me have a quick, well, that's kind of it there, because you can't, this one's a bit tight, this one is on the end here, so you've got to be really careful you put it on right. That's better. Okay, that's better. So that's sitting decent now, right? So now what I like to do is get some of the temperature gasket sealer, and not too thick going around, but just sort of what you do is you do a little piece like this. I'll show you. You get a little piece like that. Oh, it's already gone in, look. And then I'll try and sort of wipe it around, spread it out so it's flatter. So you can see like that. So it's not too thick, and then just spread it out over the top of the gasket, and it just, yeah, like that. So you're not too thick, but you're just giving it a little bit of help, and just do that all the way around, the whole lot. Do it all the way around, and then it can be fitted back in place. So let me do this, let me get it on, and then I'll come back to you. Right, here we go. So that's the water pump in place. So the way I like to do it is put the water pump in place, and then put your bolts through, which are these ones here running round. They're 10mm bolts, but don't put one in and do it up tight. Just put one in, and so it's loose. Then go round and then put the rest in that they're loose, because what it is that the gasket in between the water pump and the block is that the gasket in between it catches on the bolt as you push it in, so you've got to really sort of move it about a little bit and then push it in and then do it up. So yeah, don't do just one up tight, just put them all in loose, then now we can put them up and do them up tight, going all the way around. And again, with these bolts, guys, just put them up as tight as you can, and then just sort of, yeah, that'll be it, all nicked up. So there we go. Right, I'll do that, and then we'll move on to the we've got to put the tensioner on here, so we'll put that tensioner on in a second. Yeah, right, that is all done, guys. That is all tightened up, so I'm happy with that. That's got to stay like that. So now we're going to move on to the tensioner. They come in the set with the timing kit. So you've got the belt, you've got a new tensioner which has got a pin in it, and like that's got to stay, that pin's got to stay on there until the belt's on and everything. So do not remove that pin whilst you're fitting it. That's got to stay on until last. And in the pack here you'll see a bolt that goes through here. It's a 13mm bolt, and it secures the tensioner in place. So I'll show you where it fits. So looking at the tensioner, you can see that it's got like this little small metal tab here. It's a small one. That small one has got to fit. Can you see that there's a little square hole there on the end? That little one there has got to fit inside that square. If I can get it to go like that. So it kind of, yeah, so it sits like this. Let me see if I can get you a bit closer. So it sits like, you can see that the little tab there is inside there. It's inside the actual hole. I can't really get, I'll show you that from underneath. I might be able to show you from underneath. Stay there. Right. So, like I said, you see that little small one there? It sits in that hole there, and then you can see, you can feel it as you fit it, like that. And then that one sits on top of the water pump. You can see that little tab sits on top of it, like that. And then you put your bolt, your 13mm bolt through there, and then do it up as yeah, as tight as you can. So I'll do that, and then we'll move on, guys. Right, guys, as you can see, that is on and all tightened up. 13mm bolt is tightened in there, and as you can see, that pin has to stay there until the belt is over and in place, when you're completely happy with it, then you can release it, yeah. But for the minute, let's get the belt on, and we'll do that. I always try and start with the bottom one first, the pulley at the bottom. So you put it over the pulley at the bottom. It goes around the tensioner that way, and then back around. So yeah, you know what I mean, just get it at the bottom first, like that, sitting right, because that's not sitting right. That's it, that's sitting right. And then around the tensioner, like that, and then on these two, like this. But I can't do it with one hand. So let me put it on, and I'll come back to you. Right, okay guys, so as you can see, it's all in place. I'm very happy where it's sitting. I always try and make sure that, see the writing on that, the belt, it's obviously facing outwards. So if you're standing here, you can read what it says. And then the actual position of the belt on the actual cam pulleys, that they need to be central as well, to the so even gaps both sides going through, so that it's nice and straight and even on those two top ones. Get it on the pulley here, the tensioner, sorry, nice and sort of central as that on that as well. And on the actual, make sure it's on connected on the bottom pulley thing at the bottom. So yeah, I'm quite happy now. That's in a very good position and very good place. So now it's time just to pull that pin, and that tensioner will put tension on this belt, yeah? So that's the next step. So literally all you do is just pull it out. Let me see if I can do it from underneath so you can see it. Right, here we go. That's it. Just pulled out, and then now that's tension the belt up now. So yeah, just pull it out. Yeah, so like I said, it's all tensioned up now. That's where it should be positioned right. Just checking to make sure that it's in, its correct position, because you can move it very slightly. You can see it there, very slightly movement, but yeah, once that's all good, all positioned, that's good. Okay. Right, that's that done, guys, now. So we need to move on to the next step, which is going to be put the cover on. So at the bottom there, you'll see that there's the pulley thing. There's a cover to put on, which is this one here. So that's got to be put on underneath at the bottom. And all we're doing now is literally just reverse of what it was to take it off. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Let me put this on. An 8mm bolt just holds that cover at the bottom. Let me do that. That covers that up, and then we'll move on to putting the actual. I think we can put this crank pulley on as well, but we'll do it up. We won't do it up tight, but we'll do it up so that it's just loose in there for now. So let's do that. Let's move on and let's get this in position right. Yeah. Right. Okay, guys. Now I'm ready to do up this crank bolt. I've put the pulley on the bottom, so that's in place and pushed in as far as I can. Put the bolt back in place, and yeah, it's an 18mm bolt, and basically I've borrowed the mechanic's down the end of the road. His Milwaukee impact gun. This definitely does the job. My one doesn't quite do it. My Makita one doesn't quite do it, so I like to borrow his one because he's done it a few times for me. And then basically, yeah, we're just putting the 18mm socket, 1/2-inch socket on top like that, and then what I like to do is make sure obviously the battery is fully charged, which it is. It's on 3 as well, so it's quite powerful. And then you can basically drop the engine down. You have to drop the engine down so that the gun can go in to get it done, so it's supporting, yeah. and then basically just get the gun on like this, put it on forward, and that's basically it. That's it, it's on tight. Just needs a few impacts to get it on tight, and that's it. There we go, we're done. So it's a case of just bringing the engine back up into position a little bit more, and then start getting these pieces together back on. We'll put the cover back on this timing belt, and then we can get the engine mount back in place, get that on there like that, and then get the alternator back in place. So yeah, I'll move on. Let me get the case on. That don't take 5 minutes just to get that case back on. Where was it? Over here. So yeah, we'll get this case back on over the top, and start getting it back together. So yeah, let's do this. Right, so we're moving on to the covers and the bracket as well. Here on the top, the one that's got to go first is the bracket. You put the bracket in on first, put your bolts on in place. Again, just put them onto the loose, and then once all the bolts are in, you can do them up tight afterwards. This is obviously got to go into place as well. It's got a little, there's a little, let me see, I'll show you. See there, that case goes onto that little dowel there when you screw it, so that's got to be pushed on properly and in place like that. So yeah, so that's all good. Whilst I'm putting these bolts in, and these kind of bolts, or any sort of bolts that go into these sort of things, or any of these, I'll try and like to spray them up with a bit of WD-40. It just a little bit of oil just helps, just guides it in, and don't sort of, you know, scuff up anything whilst you're sort of putting the bolts back in. They seem to go in a lot smoother. So a little bit of WD-40 on the bolts, the nuts, the fixings, really does help. You never know. So we'll get these ones done up tight, then we'll stick these back in place. I think they're 8mm in ones, so we'll get those back in place, guys. Do them up, do the casing up, and then yeah, we'll move on and put the engine mount on, and get this pulley back on as well, get that pulley back on connection. So yeah, let's move on and get things done. Yeah. Right guys, we are definitely moving along now doing this. As you can see, I've put this pulley on as well, and then done the bolts up as tight as I can, but they need to be a little bit more tighter than that. But when the belt is on and it's tensioned, it's nice and solid, and then you can tweak them up a little bit once the belt is on. So we'll do that in a little while. But the bracket's on, it's all bolted up, this casing's on, it's all bolted up, and I don't know if you remember, but that bolt here was missing, because I like to take this one out, and then that way this case can just slide. But with this in place, it's hard to get this case off. So what that is there, you've got a, what is it? It is a E10 there, like a star bit, and obviously that just goes on top, and then you can undo it and do it up. So take it out, take this bolt out to get this case off, otherwise you'll struggle. But I've done a few of these now, and I've learned the process of which way to do it. So for me, it's a lot quicker and a lot easier. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that, because you will need one of these sets of these E-sets, so to get that bolt off. Right, so that's that done. I think we should move on. Let's get this engine mount on. So that's then the engine is, you know, sitting in its correct position, and I haven't got to use the jack anymore. So I'll get on with do that. I'll get this on, and then I'll come back to you in a second, guys. Right, guys. So there we go. The engine mount is back on. It's in position. It's all done up. Bolts are all done up. It's solid. The jack has been taken away, so that's all good. So now, really, we're at a point where I want to take off all the locking pins. So we're going to take this plate off. I'm going to take off the locking pin for the flywheel where the starter motor sits. Take that off. Take the pin out the back of the engine as well. and then we're going to try and turn it over by hand, the engine itself. Just turn it over. I normally try and turn it over like sort of 10-15 times, and then line it back up, get it top dead center by using cylinder 1, which is there, and the back of the actual cams. Make sure it's all lined back in and timed back up, and put all the pins back in place. So put the plate back in place, put the pin back in place in the back of there, put the starter motor thing, just to hold it, just to see if it all goes back in correct position. If it does, then that's a good sign that it hasn't moved and it's in its correct position, timed. So yeah, I'll crack on, guys. I'll do that and then I'll come back to you. Right, guys, so I'm moving on very nicely. So as you can see, the plate's been taken off, all the locking pins have been taken out of the flywheel there where the starter motor sits. That's been taken off. The pin at the back of the engine, that's been taken out, and yeah, I've turned it over a dozen times, loads of times. Just keep turning the engine around like that. Get it properly. It just keeps turning. And then I've got the plates back in place as well. So I've got it top dead center, and made sure that this was top dead center first cylinder, and tried the plate in the back. Yeah, it goes in the right position and that fits back in right. The pin at the back goes in. So I'm quite confident that that is okay to carry on, and I don't think we're going to have any issues whatsoever with it. So there we go. That is that's where we are so far. So the next thing I want to do is get the cam cover on, and that is obviously, this is your new one, come out the bag. Got some instructions as well, but obviously I already know you know what's what with this, but basically what he's saying is to make sure that it's fitted properly in the actual casing. Put a little bit of where's me, let me get it. So some of this high temperature black gasket, that goes here on the corners, which is, it's showing you just here, down here. So a little piece of that there, and on the other side of it, and there, and on the other side of it. So it's just where the corners sort of meet on the bottom, just wants a little bit of that gasket just to help it along. So I'll do that. I'll put it in the place, and then I'll put the cam cover on, and we'll do her up. And then there's got to be a sequence of doing up the cam cover, as you can see here. So you've got basically stage 1 is to get it to 3 Newton meters, and then stage 2 gets it to 9 Newton meters. So yeah, I normally put it up to 10 Newton meters, and then we know that it's yeah, it's all good. But you just follow the sequence of numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You just keep going until number 13. So that's the sequence of tightening up sequence that you do. So I'll crack on, I'll get that done, I'll get it on, and then I'll come back to you once that's done. Right guys, here we go. So cam cover's on. I put the little gasket on the back there. Got my torque wrench, set it at 10 Newton meters. So we're just going to follow the instructions here, the sequence to how to tighten it. So this is number 1. Number 2. And I'm just going to do this yep until it clicks. Where's 4 to the back. Yep. 5. Yep. 6. Yep. 7. Yep. 8. Yep. 9. Yep. 10. Yep. 11. Oh, 11's this one here. Okay, that's 11. What's 12? 12 is the inner one there. Yep. 13 there. Yep. So there we go. That's all done. I'll just do this one here and up. I've got to do that one up. I've got to do one here up as well, and then I've got to do one at the back, which is there, which goes for this cover. So I'll do those, and then that is it. That's done. So we'll move on and get the next stage done. Right, okay guys, so I just wanted to quickly show you this, how I do it. So the alternator, I've put on the alternator but kept off the 2 top bolts, and as you can see it's pivoting on the bottom bolt. I've done the bottom bolt up, put a bolt in, and then just left it so that it's loose. So what I do is I've put the belt around the bottom 2 pulleys, there and there, which is the crank pulley and the air conditioning pulley and the water pump pulley. So that's all connection, it's all round. And then as you can see, it's not quite reaching because it's just a stretch belt on these ones, and it's not quite reaching. So the way I do it is I kind of get it so that it's close, like on like that a little bit, and then turn the engine by hand, and as you can see it starts to go on the alternator. You obviously got to work it on like that, and then just keep going. Be careful that it don't slip off the actual water pump pulley, and then just work it on like that. Push it back on the water pump pulley because it's sliding off. And then again hold the belt at this point on the and then what you're doing, you're pushing the belt over so that it sits, and as you're turning it you push it like that. So as you see, and then just push it onto the water pump pulley again, because it wants to go, the belt wants to push off that water pump pulley, so you just got to keep pushing it back so that it's central on the pulley. Make sure that the belt is staying on the bottom one as well, the crank pulley, it's all even, and then yeah, just keep turning the engine. Oh boy. And you can see.
Count for the gear, yeah?
Yeah, done it, mate. Yeah. Right, okay guys, sorry about that. It was just the neighbours there that I would like to quickly chat with him. But as you can see, the actual belt is in the correct position now, where it should be. It's lined up on all the pulleys and the alternator. And then now it's a case of just pushing it up like that, and then holding it, getting the bolts, putting the bolts in, and then tying it up, and that's it. It stretches. This actually helps stretch the bolt. It's just a better way I've found of doing it, really. So let me do that. I'll put this in, put the bolts on, and then I'll come back to you in a second. Right guys, there we go. Alternator is back in place, the 2 bolts are in. So it is a bit of a pain, to be honest with you, when you're doing this, especially on your own. It's nice to have someone else with you about, if you can get someone else to help you push it over while you do the bolts up. But I do it on my own, and it's definitely doable. So yeah, there we go, that's how I do it. I've already put the coil packs on the top. You can see they're all back on and the plugs are back in, so that's all in place. This wire goes around the back there and plugs into the back there with a little circlip, so make sure that's in place as well. And yeah, starter motor is back in place at the bottom now. So really we just need to move on to putting the aircon pipes back in place, which I took off here, which are down there. So we'll put them back in place, put the cover underneath. There's a cover there that goes underneath there. We'll put that back on, put the reservoir bottle back up for the coolant. Yeah, I'll check to make sure there's anything else, but at the minute I think that's all I can do, because I haven't got the front end rad pack. I need to get all that sort of side of it. I need to get the new airbox, because I think the airbox is broke, a clip or a bracket or something, so I need to get a new one of them, bottom box. And then yeah, I'll just finish off these bits and pieces guys. I'll come back to you, and yeah, that should be it. So see you in a second. Right, okay, there we go guys, that is all back together. So water bottles back on, all the pipe work, all the air conditioning pipes are back in place, tightened up, bolts, that one as well, that's back in place at the bottom. The cover back on underneath, that covers the belts. And yeah, that's it, it's all back together. So I've checked. That's kind of where I can take it in a minute. I can't take it any further, like I said, because I've got the airbox or the rad pack front end, and that's got to go on as well. So yeah, that is going to be it for part 2 on this timing belt kit on this Fiesta 1.2. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Wasn't no time lapses, very unusual for me. I do like to do a time lapse to show you more in the actual time of the video, but this was a little bit different. I was coming in and out, and I hope you enjoyed it. Drop me a comment if you like this kind of thing, and let me know whether or not you prefer it, or you prefer a bit of both, bit of time lapses, bit of not. Do you know what I mean? Just let me know guys, because your opinion matters to me, because you know, without you guys watching, then obviously, you know, what's the point? But I do really appreciate the comment and the actual your opinion guys. Just before we go though, I just want to quickly show you, I have pulled the windscreen on this car. It's not that hot today, it's a bit overcast, so it's not as humid and not as hot. Still got to clean it up, still got to get all this off. But I just wanted to pull it, just so that we can, in the next video, we can just put the dash in, and we can get on with getting the dash and all that sort of side of it, get all the airbags, all the steering wheel, get all that back in, all the interior, and then it's just, yeah, we can plonk the windscreen back in place, the new one, when I get it. But yeah, that is going to be the end of today's video on part 2 of this timing belt kit for this 1.2 Fiesta. Guys, let me know, don't forget, drop me a comment if you prefer this type of video, or you prefer a bit of time lapsing. But that is going to be the end of today's video. And don't forget guys, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it if you could do that. That would be really good, helpful. And have a great weekend. Today is obviously Friday, and I'll see you on Monday guys. And yeah, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.